What's up, everybody? It's been a while since I've talked about Pantheon, the MMO. And the last video I did, I said was going to be the last one that I was going to do on the subject. But I just can't stay away from this. It's been I think it's been more than a year or right around a year since the last time I did an article or a video about Pantheon. And today's video is probably going to trigger some people. I would urge you to not shoot the messenger. I'm not the person who wrote this article. I'm not the person who made these statements. These statements come from Ben D. These statements come from the Visionary Realms team. I'm going to be reading through the MMO Bomb article, which is one of the most concise places. It's one of the most it's the most comprehensive, I should say, pieces that I've found so far that has sort of compiled all of the shitstorm that happened over the last 24 to 48 hours into one place. And we're going to be going through all this because, boy, oh boy, is this the biggest case of I told you so that I've been able to publish in a very long time. And I've been literally sitting on this all day today, just sort of face palming and watching the comments at places like Massively and MMORPG.com and the subreddit and the forums themselves, the actual Pantheon forums, because, oh my goodness, are they in a world of hurt right now? Not only because of the graphic changes that happened a few weeks back, but now finally announcing, oh yeah, guys, our game is years away from launch, and oh yeah, we're out of money, and oh yeah, crowdfunding has dried up. Oh yeah, so remember that game we told you we were developing? We're actually not going to be developing that anymore. We're putting all of our energy into this new game, this mini game, this little thing that we're going to hopefully sell to investors, and hopefully it's going to generate enough money to give us the funds that we need to use to finish the MMORPG in the first place. Our last ditch Hail Mary. Come on, Copium. You guys have got it. Give us more money and we'll make your dreams come true. Trigger warning. All right. Ben Dean from Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, October 12th, 2023. And this was about a week ago now that this got leaked. And today they're talking, by the way, this is all, you can go to the Pantheon forums, you can go to the Pantheon Discord. This is all out in the open now. There is a great article I'm going to link to on MMO Bomb. It says, I'm officially worried about the future of Pantheon Rise of the Fallen now. And they cover a lot of different stuff, including the graphic change and all the ridiculousness of that. But then they get into this brand new survival type game where basically it's called 24/7 or 247. And players are getting a chance to test things a little bit, but they have to purchase packs to access things. And the biggest thing is people who have paid $750 or more to get into the alpha for a game that turns out they don't actually get access to. There's no alpha for them to access. Instead, there's this little mini game that is now the priority for the company. But let me just read through all this. Over the past week, you may have heard rumors of Visionary Realms' plans for monetizing 247 and the future of Pantheon. We want to address this topic so you are aware of our actual position and plans and not speculation. 247 was conceived as a means to keep testers engaged for longer periods of time so we could support 24/7 testing and gather the data we needed from a persistent long-running environment. We were aware of its potential to be monetized, and we were equally aware that if we made the decision, it would need to be considered carefully and thoughtfully. We are now in a position where crowdfunding has slowed and there is still a lot of world building and content to create. Continuing this trajectory is not reasonable. We could continue and Pantheon would launch, but it's still a long time from now. We have made huge advances in efficiency and velocity, which I'm going to cry bullshit on that because you have reiterated and revamped your game half a dozen times ever since the Kickstarter, and it's just every single time you lose 6 months to a year's worth of progress, I should say. Anyway, we've made huge advances, they claim, but its projected launch is still years off at this pace. This, despite the fact that they are continually telling people, don't worry, alpha's just around the corner, it's almost ready, fully funded, Project Fairthaw, all hands on deck, we've got everything we need to get it all the way to launch, blah, 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 lies, lies, lies. If we can monetize 24/7, not only can it potentially earn more revenue, but it can gain positive attention from potential partners to invest in Visionary Realms as a company so we can launch Pantheon in a more reasonable time frame. So for the remainder of this year and potentially into next year, promotions and online content for Pantheon as an MMO will slow. because we're focused on 24/7. Everything that is used in 24/7 is usable content for Pantheon as an MMO, so its development is continuing, we promise. We anticipate bringing the MMO client back for testing next year, and we aim to bring alpha pledges in to test 24/7 in the coming weeks. We understand the challenges of this decision. We understand that there will be a percentage of Pantheon fans who will be upset. But from responses we are seeing from player activity and feedback almost 2 weeks after 24/7 testing has started, this is also a good game and means a chance at getting the resources Pantheon needs to launch. Again, you claimed that it was fully funded several years ago, fully funded to launch. You made a press release and talked about how you were fully funded to launch. Mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. If you feel that this doesn't meet your expectations or desires, we understand that, and we will see you once we bring the MMO testing back planned for next year. If, on the other hand, you want to continue to support our project, we will be sending out a survey next week to gain insight from your perspective. We encourage everyone to participate in the survey, whether 24/7 is something you're interested in or not. The responses, coupled with the in-game activity data points we are gathering, will greatly help us in our decision-making process. There's a whole bunch of more information in here, but essentially one of the big drops that happened was that they are monetizing 24/7, and this is now the Pantheon that's being worked on, and the MMO is completely on hold until next year at the earliest. Notice that there's no mention here of refunding anyone their money. Because remember, you didn't pre-order anything, folks. You pledged a donation. You gave someone money just because you wanted to, and they have no obligations to deliver anything to read the terms and conditions of the crowdfunding agreement that you sign when you give them money to access Visionary Realms projects. They do not have to deliver anything to you, nor do they have to deliver an actual product called an MMO to you. And this is them covering their bases and launching a product that will allow them to use that legal loophole to say, well, we launched a product for everyone. We got it in your hands. Now that it's in your hands, well, the MMO, sadly, we couldn't raise the funding for it. Unfortunately, it looks like it's not ever going to see the light of day. And as a result, yeah, it's canceled, but you did get the 24/7, so we did deliver on our promise. Thanks so much for the cash. Peace out. Now, of course, they could make a good faith attempt at delivering something here. I'm being obviously extremely facetious and exaggerative here with this article because I find it incredibly amusing given my coverage of the game in 2022, talking about how I was extremely just I saw potential for things, especially when they brought Steve on board. But then as we got later and later into the year, I started to see more and more cracks. And I was like, this just doesn't look like it's going anywhere. I don't think this is actually ever going to make it into reality. And then we have this. Now, on top of all of this, it turns out they fired, and this is over at, I'm not going to dig into the link here right now, but over at MMORPG.com, I was reading through the forums today. Turns out they fired one of their long-term employees as well, Kilson, because he's one of the ones who kind of got upset about the about 24/7 and sort of leaked it, and got in trouble for it, and they fired him for it. At least that's how I understand things, based on reading the forums and the subreddit. Now, this is unfortunately another case of an indie MMORPG where you've got all these people who put time into it, and it was just mismanaged because the people behind it don't really have any experience. And there have been times when this project has produced some really interesting stuff and some fun content. I have people that I know who have played a lot of the alpha over the years and have had a lot of fun doing so. But I think, I don't know if all of them, but I think most of the people I know who were very much on board with Pantheon, once the announcement about the graphics came out and once the announcement for 24/7 happened and everything else, most of the content creators I know who were in the alpha and spent thousands of dollars on this game have kind of dropped off the face of the earth. I think even some of the bigger Pantheon content creators haven't produced any content for going on 4 months now because they aren't happy and they have moved on because they realize that this game is actually never going to see the light of day. I just don't see that this is ever going to actually make it to launch. They're out of money. They've admitted they're out of money. They've admitted that they have no more crowdfunding coming in, that's completely dried up. All the people that wanted to back Pantheon backed it, and many of the people that backed Pantheon have literally abandoned it because it's no longer the Pantheon that they backed. And this announcement, on top of all of the other changes that have happened over the past year, more delays, the change in art styles, all of these things that have happened along the way. This is now a case of people who have taken paychecks to continually revamp, and revamp again until the current product is nothing remotely resembling what was originally pitched during the Kickstarter or what was eventually worked on as Brad continued to tweak those original design documents leading up to his passing. The people who are left now have been operating under this, we're doing it for Brad. We're Brad's legacy and everything. This has nothing to do with Brad's legacy. This has nothing to do with Brad's product anymore. The idea of an extraction based mini game that you're trying to pawn off to the public so that you can generate some funding, because you can no longer generate crowdfunding and you've also stalled with investors, right? So they're literally saying how in this statement that was made, allegedly. No, it's all confirmed. Whether they're over in their Discord talking about it too, it's over on their official forum. So go check this stuff out. The crowdfunding's gone. No, nobody's giving them any more money. They have no more investors. They're trying to use this new extraction game as a way to literally. It says here. I got to find the exact. If we can monetize 24/7, not only can it potentially earn some revenue, but it can gain positive attention from potential partners to invest in Visionary Realms as a company so we can launch Pantheon in a more reasonable time frame. Potentially, maybe, possibly, hopefully. Nothing is confirmed. This is nothing more than smoke and mirrors. I don't think this is actually ever going to see the light of day. To me, it feels like this is nothing more than an opportunity to fleece people for more money. Because maybe, hopefully, you giving us another $50,000 is going to be enough to spark those investors to pony up another $2 million, and that's going to allow us to produce Pantheon the MMO faster. Because otherwise, it's going to be years until it launches. Good luck with that, everybody. So, I hate to tell you I told you so, but I told you so last year. And yeah, love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Talk to you next time, everybody.